goes awry, this is my first time ever doing a live. I thought it would be really fun. I'm actually traveling right now, so I'm not home. I'm in Powell River and about to do some new groundwork for some paintings that I hope to go out onto site to a waterfall and a beach and finish off. But I thought it would be a fun sort of exercise to take you along start to finish of the watery base that I've been creating in some of my newer pieces, and you can kind of watch it unfold in real time. It's not cinematic, but it is pretty fun, and I will try my best not to fill every bit of silence with some awkward chatter. Let's get started. So this canvas here, I've just stretched myself out of some canvas that I've wrapped around an existing frame. And what we're gonna do is put down some paint and then move it around with some water. It gets a little bit messy, but it's also really fun and like very relaxing for me anyway. I'm gonna have to move my camera as we go. Again, excuse me, I have never done this before. There you go, that's not bad. This is a smaller piece than I usually do. So something tells me my brush strokes are going to be bigger than they need to be, but it's good. I think a lot of people need really big pieces for their living room or their dining room or things like that, but sometimes you just need a little piece to go at the end of a hallway or in a bathroom, which is what this is more intended to be. I would like this to be a waterfall piece by the end, and so it's going to be mostly forest greens. We're going to use some Payne's Gray, and it's going to turn into a waterfall at some point. What I like to do is kind of picture where I want the waterfall to kind of be sunk into, and then from there I'm going to kind of create what I would try to control, although there is no control in this process, as a watery sort of landscape for the rocks and the water to kind of flow off of. There's no set rule or rhyme or reason to this, and it's 99% luck. So I could be painting over this very canvas tomorrow. We have yet to find out, but it sure is fun. I'm going to start with some green. You can mix your own colors, but I find that I end up adding different hues in as soon as the water is on the canvas, and it kind of adds a unique effect. So you can start with whatever colors you'd like right from the tube. That's how I've been doing it. I did a clear transparent gesso. I did 2 coats and sanded them to get this really smooth surface. And then we're just literally, again, there's no real rule. The first mark is the hardest one. From there, you're winning. Yeah, there's already a mistake. Got a piece of dried plastic. What else have I got? I think that one was Hooker's green. Hooker's green, and this one is sap green, so a little bit darker. And then maybe we'll add some Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray actually works really well for the rocks parts, and it gives a nice deep base for when you go to put the waterfall over top of it, something to really contrast the two. So let's start there, maybe a little bit over there. Maybe there, sure. I feel like I should be saying very Bob Rossi type of things right now. Happy little paint blurb. I'm not going to try to be witty. Okay. I'm also going to be sniffling a little bit. I'm sorry, we're getting over a head cold in our family. This is just water. I like to kind of get your brush ready because it's going to get messy fast. I think what I'd like to do is tilt that camera a little bit just to give you a better viewing experience. Maybe a little bit closer as well. There we go. That's not bad. Perfect. Okay, for those just joining, this is just paint right out of the tube, and this is just water. There's no magic here. We're just gonna go in, loop some water on in the general area of the paint. Less is more to start. I also always end up using too much, so if you find you do, that's okay. And now, I don't know what this is called, this technique, but you can just kind of jiggle it. You just kind of jiggle it and let the paint and the water emulsify. I don't like to be perfect because I really do actually like where the imperfections kind of naturally happen, and thicker paint holds onto the canvas a little stronger. That's always a nice touch. This is just kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. I've always loved painting. I've been painting since I was 10 years old. And I feel like only now, at age 37, after having 2 kids, am I able to really let go in the way that this technique has required me to. All you painters out there know. Okay, so I've kind of emulsified the paint into the water, and it's kind of, I don't want to overwork it, so I've kind of swooshed it around, and now we're going to add more water, which is a bit scary. Also, these kind of things that happen every now and again, like totally a happy accident, in my opinion. Did I get it on myself? Probably. It's okay. Life is messy. Embrace it. I also really like it when there's these like little pieces that kind of scoot to the side, where you see the brush for all it's worth in its mark. I like that. Put that there. Oh, this is something really fun, and I get comments on it all the time on Instagram, but here on YouTube, a few people actually also loved. If you, professional painter's tip here, Rubbermaid bin lid makes for the best paint palette. If you're looking for something that's inexpensive, I've had this, again, probably since I was 10 years old. It works really well because the water can go in the trough, and you just keep building your own mountains, and it just kind of dries over time, and it makes this really magical experience. I don't know if I would really enjoy having to start over, so I don't peel it off. I just leave it there and let it be. Not today though. Today we're working with water. This is also a perfectly flat surface. That helps out a lot if you're a bit of a control freak, like I tend to be. We're gonna add more water. Now, you can't undo. It's like writing on the internet. You only get pen, not pencil, and there's no eraser for this kind of thing. So you want to be brave, as with anything in life. You want to let your quirk be quirkin', but like, oh, that's nice. Sorry, I get lost in the process of it myself too. And I want it to at least go off the canvas in a couple spots. That's where you gotta kind of just like pull, you see, like that? Just press a little bit and it pulls the water. Water's fantastic for that, but it doesn't listen for long. I'm gonna pull it. Now, I kind of want to find my composition. So if my waterfall is going to come out of this, it's going to be a vertical piece. So my waterfall is going to come out of a mountain somewhere here. It's going to land in the air somewhere down there. And then there's likely going to be trees. What I would like to do is make a miniature version of the piece that sold this morning and kind of retrace my steps on it so that all of you can kind of see it. But also, I learned a lot in that piece that I would kind of like to implement again right away. There's I don't know, again, I think that comes with age and wisdom, that once you kind of figure something out, I want to practice it, I want to get better at it. Oh, we're getting big. We're getting bold, folks. Okay. Something's happening down there, that's kind of cool. Now you see, like, the more water you add, the looser your pigment will get, which is nice, and it's why I like working on a raw canvas, because you can see the threads in the fabric itself kind of coming through the paint in different areas at different opacities. So I do really enjoy that. I'm kind of scoot it. I tried to do watercolor a few times in my life, but was never patient enough for it because the drying time and all of that. And this, I guess, is kind of like my happy medium. It's somewhere in between. And the nice thing about doing a live is that it doesn't slow it down, because a lot of this I end up snipping out to kind of show a start to finish painting. But the reality is that this does take time and patience. So it's a struggle for me not to overdo it here. Okay. It's getting there. Now, this is getting to be a lot of water with not a lot of pigment. So now that I've done like a first wash, let's call it, I'm just gonna pull it back to the spots. The nice thing is, once you put water in a certain spot on the canvas and kind of let it settle in, if you pull water back there a second time, it'll kind of stop initially, not forever, but it'll stop initially where you place the water. So if you want it to be like a thicker paint, you can kind of run it over a second time and it'll pick it up and kind of sink it in a second time, which is quite nice. Okay, now we have too much water. It's okay, this is normal. In comes our good old friend, paper towel. You could probably use cloths and wash them if you want to do a more environmental approach. But what I want to do, it's like you put water on and then you take water off, and it's, I can't quite put words to the magic that happens, but you need the water to get the evenness, but then you don't need it when you want some clarity and some real depth to the pigment in the paint. Oh dear, now I'm making a mess. Okay. Less water on there, which is great. We're gonna go back in. Probably, actually with this lighter green. I really like this lighter green. I want it to kind of be up here a little bit more. And I kind of want the Payne's Gray to be a little bit more down here. Now, oh! Only I'm alive. Okay. Now, there's nothing that serves as a better tool more than your own two hands. So sometimes you just have to dive in. I'm gonna do that now. I'm just kind of pushing because the canvas again is wet. So I'm just kind of pushing and forcing it, like, I don't even know how to describe this process, but like you just get it in there. They want to meet, they want to be friends. And I'm not pushing it all over because I kind of just want it to be more condensed in certain areas and then flow out. And the beautiful part is that the canvas is wet, so the pigment is gonna latch on to the wet part and kind of soak in a really pretty way. Can't make this shit up. There's, oh, I don't know if you're allowed to say that online. Anyway, embrace the mistakes is what, what I meant to say. Here we go. It might end up being too much paint, but we'll see. I don't know, maybe you want to see less of my face and more of the canvas. I'll tilt it again. That's a good idea. Here. Let's get more of an angle. How's that? That's not bad. Okay. And all these little bits, don't even worry about it. We're not here to worry. What is that Courtney Cooks lady who eats food on Instagram? Like, we're not even here to worry a little bit. We're just having fun. We're just living. I don't know what that Julia, oh, Stepmom, that's the movie. Where she calls it swooshing and she swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. You can call your technique whatever you like. I don't know what this is called other than showing all my colors on the internet live. Here we go. Smushing. Get it in there, smush it, jiggle it a little. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, the paint will see it. But I think the most beautiful part about painting is that when you're brave and you do something new and it works, that is the best part. Now I'm pulling some of this Payne's Gray over here and just kind of dropping it in. This is all just with my finger. You can do this. Anybody can do this. This isn't rocket science. A lot of painters out there are like, I don't know, worried about putting their process or whatever on here, or worried about people copying them. That is just not me. I would be honored if you tried to copy this and did it with your own two hands and made your own beautiful painting out of it. Go for it. There's no such thing as, you can be inspired by it. And your own two hands are your own two hands, and your mind and your heart are your own, that no matter what you do, it's going to become yours. And then it is something that was on the inside of you as a feeling, as a thought, as something maybe that you were afraid to try and do. And all of a sudden, it's on the outside of you, and it belongs. And it tells its own very unique story. Okay. I feel like this is a lot of Payne's Gray down here. It needs to level itself out a little bit. I might have gone a little bit overboard on the dark. That's okay. We're just doing more broad sweeping motions and pulling this water over, letting it kind of sink and pull the Payne's Gray back into the center. All you ladies watching, you just go watch this with your girlfriends and have a paint night on me. Paint with Paige. That could be a fun series. If you think that would be a fun series, let me know in the comments. Also, I'm sorry I can't do this and look at comments, so if you are commenting and saying hello, I will reach out and say hello back. But thank you for being here and for supporting my channel and my little pocket of the universe here on YouTube. Okay, something kind of cool is happening. Don't deny it. Roll with it. Mistakes and all. What's next? Okay. Maybe I feel like that light bulb is kind of right in the middle of where you need to see it. Maybe if I turn you a little bit. Again, this is all happening real time. So thank you for your understanding. How's that? Is that a little bit better? That's a heater that my dad's going to install in their garage at some point. There we go. There, that's better. You can see more of the tones. So you see this whole Payne's Gray sort of section down here bleeding out into this Hooker's green, and then there was some sap green going on in the corner. And for waterfalls, I really like it to stay dark because I know that I'm going to add water over top. So it doesn't get much more complicated than this. I do want to pull, so right now the canvas, obviously the water is sitting right in the center because there's tension evenly all the way around the outside. What I want to do is pull some of this pigment down and also maybe use my brush to zhuzh it a little bit. So counterintuitive because we just took water off, but I'd like to add a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. And do that like zhuzhing technique, whatever you want to call it. And just kind of use my brush and the weight of it to pull the water. Now, I don't like it to start to get these like lines where the pigment is, I do like to kind of stomp those out. I don't know, maybe you like it. That could be a technique of yours, who knows. But I do kind of like it when it's a little less of like a tie-dye effect and more of a smooth transition. And you see what I mean here? Like all of these colors are uniquely their own. Like you could start with your own color mix, but right out of the tube is also lovely because it just becomes something of its own too. If you want to get wild and crazy, you should add some white somewhere. When I do the wave ones, it really works well because it kind of shifts up to sky. And that white, oh my gosh, off of like a canvas like this with the raw background, it really pops, and I love the contrast. Oh, tie-dye effect. See, just stipple it out. No magic here. I don't know. I feel like I want to suck some of that up and put it over here. Call that effect what you will. I'm using the kind of track lines that I've made with a previous wash of water to catch. And then if I don't like the edge of it, just drag your brush across and make a new edge. I hate that more. So sometimes don't mess with a good thing. That's, you know. You see what it does there when you kind of pick it up from the heavy pigment spot and kind of drop it in? It just bleeds out and it's so pretty. Woo! It's happening. This would be way better with music in the background because then it would be a bit of a dance party as well, but unfortunately those kinds of things don't work well when you're trying to not be copyrighted. So the silence and my ever, there we go. Sorry if I lose my train of thought as well. That's also very normal when you love what you do. There we go. Okay. Little, oh, it's kind of fun. Okay, now where I want the water to sit towards the end of its drying process, I kind of want to pull it over there, which I want the darkest edge to kind of be this section over here because I have a feeling it's going to be rock. So just kind of keep moving it. I don't know, I feel like, is this going to be enough? I'm going to paint it off the edge. I got to do that at some point. Where am I going to do it? Where are we going to get crazy off the edge? No, don't do it. No, I'm not going to do it. See? There's a time for restraint as well. Oh, now I have like a dark pigment. Turn the camera a little bit so you can kind of see what's going to happen. I just did that little piece there. So when I'm dipping into this like really thick pigment, this has only had one wash, and I just kind of like drop it in again. See that? Oh, that's great. Love that. Love that for you. Maybe a couple in the middle, just so, yeah, that looks nice. Maybe drop some down here. Okay. Now, feel like, stipple that out, I don't like that. Just the tie-dye effect happening again. The nice thing about water is that you can be really imperfect with it, and those imperfections in this particular case kind of work in your favor. Okay, now what I don't want to have happen, because water with paint in it dries so slowly, is I don't want this area to have like a beautiful wash and then this to sit long enough for it to just be immediately dark. So I would like that pulled effect. So what I'm going to do is probably use some sort of anchor over here to tilt the canvas a little bit. I'm going to put you, maybe turn you a little bit so you can see that process. Really hope my phone doesn't drop to the floor here. There we go. dripping paint everywhere. I thought that I had one of the glass bottles. Oh, there we go. Okay, so these are great. These are glass, so they weigh a little bit more. It's also kind of fun. These are like highly liquefied paints and high pigment that you can like just dazzle your painting with that, and it does its own thing too. That's kind of fantastic, actually. Oh yeah. Anyway, oops, more garbage. I think every single one of my paintings has had dog hair or some loose accoutrement from life in it. You can't get around it, really. Jackson Pollock, actually. I once stood in front of a Jackson Pollock original when I was in New York one year, and I stood at it in a way that my entire field of vision was completely engulfed by this painting. They're huge, they're incredible. But when you're standing there and you're that close, there's like broken glass in there, there's cigarette butts, there's dirt, there's debris. He literally puts everything in it. And I think that's the beauty of like life in general, is that it's made up of a whole bunch of chaos, and yet still can come out and be something really, truly remarkable and beautiful. Oh, what was I doing? I got sidetracked here. I like to use the bottom of these because they're glass and kind of just move them around. And also, where you pull it, it will just add that tiniest little bit of weight to the area that you want to pull the water towards. And then you can kind of, see, I went a little wild up here with this, with this really liquidy stuff. That's okay. There's going to be trees over that anyway. So we're going to pull it, get our paper towel friend back out. Okay, and do the same trick we did in the very beginning. Now, you're going to get freaked out because when you blotch it away, obviously, you're going to have like little marks where your paper towel is like pulling water up, doing what it's supposed to be doing. Don't worry, because water evens itself out. Worst case scenario, you can pick it up and kind of shake it back and forth. I think I'll do that actually. You shake it. I'll work it in a little bit more. Ready? Very technical, folks. Well, if you wanted to get really crazy, you would turn this and like let a drip or two happen. I love drips. I love drips. Should we do that? We should do that. Should we do that? The problem with drips is because I love them when they're like completely scattywampus all over the place, but you do kind of want to be a little bit intentional about where they land and not have it just look like it's melted off the canvas. So what I'm going to do, so the composition of the painting will be trees, trees, waterfall coming out. Oh, look at, we're already doing it. Not on purpose. It's happening. It's happening. And see, before I lose all the water, if I want to have another drip, because I don't like things in twos, you got to do 3s or 5s. I'll just pull it a little and kind of direct the water with my finger, and then it'll happen again. I'm sorry, Dad, I'm getting paint on you. Oh, see, now it's 4. I need another one right here, maybe. Just a little kiss of one. Maybe like that. Don't linger on the bottom. If you're going to get out of here, get out of here. Uh-oh, there's more happening. Oh dear, my 3 and 5 rule is already breaking. Maybe this one, maybe I just stop it. Okay, a little bit further, but not all the way off. That'd be fun. Yeah, okay. What that also did is it kind of pulled these like high liquid pigments and made like a little bit of a track. Not in a tie-dye way, I have to say, because I would have tidied that up. But that I actually really enjoyed. That's not bad. Okay, so now I would let this dry. I mean myself, I'm gonna probably do another one. You guys let me know in the comments if this is something you enjoy. I'm more than happy to take you along the ride with this type of process. This is now the watery base that I can sink a landscape into. This one, again, from the start, I explained is going to be a watery mountain waterfall. I'm going to have trees up here, trees on this side, and a waterfall coming down with like these dark sort of rocks to bounce the lightness of the water off of. So that's what this one's going to be. It is a repeat of one that just sold today. Again, I've said this already, but it's just because I want to practice what I've learned from that piece and kind of reiterate it right away, also into a smaller piece that people can put in a smaller area of their home. I've also kind of been on the fence lately. I don't know, for those of you who have been following for a while, if you are interested in things like prints, it would probably be an easier thing to ship. And I have tried doing it before. So let me know in the comments if prints would be something that would interest you and I could look into doing that. I should probably clean up after myself. Okay, I'm gonna leave you and this painting now. Thank you so much for being here. This was fun. Until next time. If I can figure out how to leave.